How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hey, hey, awesome. Lots of friends and fam. Ashley's here, Leah's here, Dante's back, Jake's here. Amazing. So good to see everyone. Hi, Steph. Doing it for Lantern Rouge. Stephanie up in the top, who has been putting in serious time on the bike. A lot of time. Jake's here. That's great. I'm really excited about our next guest. Known to everybody in the cycling circles, we're going to be speaking with Leah Kirchmann. For those of you on the live stream on Facebook Live, Leah Kirchmann is certainly, in my view and many, one of the most celebrated Canadian cyclists of the modern era, certainly in this day and age. She's a tried and true on the front of races. She's a winner, won the Miguel Rose pink jersey, number of national titles, and just re-signed another contract on the World Tour. She's based over in Europe, but calls Dundas, Ontario home. Originally from Manitoba, I believe, maybe Winnipeg. So we're gonna go over to Leah and say hi, and I really appreciate her stopping by. How you doing, Leah?
Hi everyone. I'm doing really well. I'm over in the Netherlands right now, and I have to say I'm so impressed with what you're doing. This is amazing. I can't believe how much money that you've raised so far, and I'm just so impressed with how long you're also riding your bike sport.
Well,
I have personally never ridden for 24 hours, so I am so impressed.
Well, I think it's a first for a lot of us, but it has been a wonderful response from the community, and I think just goes to show how much everyone's thinking about and cares about our frontline healthcare workers. We're all asked to stay home right now, and they have to show up, put in the hours every single day, and if we can raise a bit of money for a community hospital here in Toronto, there's certainly been a huge outpouring of support. And what's really cool is it's the cycling community. You know all the teams in Ontario, of course. Lapdogs, Border Glory, Lantern Rouge, Dig Deep Cycling. They're all here, and NCCH. It's been a really big grassroots community response, so that's been really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I always knew that the cycling community was full of incredible people, and really and this is really showing it. Everybody coming together and just working towards to raise money for something that's so important right in this moment. And yeah, I think it also shows like that athlete mindset where we're always taught like you control the things that focus on the controllables, and this is a perfect example. Like you have to stay home, you can ride inside, and you can still help your community in some way, so I'm really impressed.
That's what we had Chief Peg on a couple hours ago, and he's leading the response from the City of Toronto for our emergency response to COVID, and he actually said the exact same thing. He said focus on the things you can control, which is not that many. Much of this is out of our hands, but focus on the things you can control, worry about that, and don't stress about the other stuff. So you guys are on the same page. So tell us, so you're over in the Netherlands right now, and I'm assuming, is that where you reside during the season, or is that for the classics you post up there?
So our team Kirchmann has a base in a place called Sittard in the Netherlands. It's more in the south, and there's actually there's a bunch of us that live here during the season, and there's actually a couple other Canadians here right now as well. So Alice Jackson is still here, and Ben Katterberg, who races with the Evo team, and we're super close to where, if you ever watch Amstel on TV, then those are like the roads that I could go train on a little bit to the south.
And are you able to be training outside in the Netherlands still?
Yeah, so right now I believe the regulations are similar to Canada,
right?
Where we are allowed to train outside, but mostly alone or with one other person, and then keeping distance from everybody else.
Right. So how's it been? You are at the pinnacle of the sport and in the upper echelon of the top level. So you're not just finishing the races, you're winning the races. What's it been like to put in the hours and try and find the motivation to keep that level of fitness, which is so hard to do, despite not having a calendar to prepare for?
Yeah, it definitely changes the motivation, and it's really interesting because you also kind of learn where your motivation comes from during this time. And some riders are purely motivated by racing, and then some are more motivated just by themselves and getting better. And a lot of people are both.
So where are you on that spectrum? Are you someone who trains to race, or do you like to train?
I think I like both. I mean, I'm a racer, so of course I want to race, and I wish we were racing. But at the same time, I think a lot of the motivation for me just comes from getting the best out of myself, and I really love riding my bike and just trying to push myself and become better every day, and I guess get a lot of satisfaction from that. So definitely trying to focus more on that right now, since racing is so far away.
Why don't you tell us a little bit? I know there's a lot of young riders who are participating today who certainly look up to you a lot. How did you get into the sport, and how did you take it from, being a young bike rider starting out to the pinnacle of the sport and where you are right now?
Yeah, I guess I've been racing for a while now, so my story goes back a little ways. But I thought about it the other day. I think I've been racing for 17 years now, and then 10 years as a pro. But I started in Winnipeg, and first I was a cross-country skier first, and that was my favorite sport. And a lot of the endurance community in Manitoba also are cyclists in the summer and ski in the winter. You have to do something in Winnipeg when it's cold in the winter. But my friends in skiing, they invited me to come try out mountain biking with this grassroots program called Kids in Mud. And it's club-based, and you get together and learn skills, and then they have little club races every week. And I thought it was so fun. I was so competitive, and I loved racing in the mud, and I was beating some of the boys, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
So that kind of sucked me into the sport, and then from there I just got recruited to the provincial team. The coach was really persistent there, and they were always looking to recruit more girls into the program. And from there I had really good support, and we had kind of grew up with the provincial racing provincially, and then started venturing further and further from the province into the States and around Canada, and then I guess doing Junior Worlds was my first big international competition in 2008, and then that was kind of when I saw the bigger world of cycling that existed beyond the country, I guess, and then that's what really motivated me to keep seeking those higher levels.
So I found cycling later in life after growing up figure skating and then playing rugby in university, and then kind of found myself in the sport much later. But endurance sports take time. There's no shortcuts to putting in the hours. And how do you balance that, at a young age, as a teenager, with school, with so much going on, to find the time to train and put in those hours and make some of those pretty mature decisions to not do some of the other distracting things that you could be doing at that time?
That can definitely be a challenge if you choose to pursue something like endurance sport. definitely, I remember growing up, like, it is a lot about balancing your time and choosing your priorities. So school was always really a top priority for me, even above sport, I'd say. But I just made sure to be super careful with time management and still getting in my training, but then also balancing that through school. And it is possible if you plan accordingly and just have a good plan going into it. It is possible to do it. And then I'd also still emphasize, like, for one thing, I think that helped me develop as an athlete and then also have such a long career in the sport is that I didn't just train for cycling from a young age. I think that having that skiing as well in there and doing a lot of different sports in school also kept it fun for me and kept a lot of variety and kept me engaged. Yeah, so I'd say, like, also for the young athletes out there, like, don't be scared to keep other things in your life.
So let's talk a little bit about racing. You are an Olympian. Obviously, the Olympic Games has been postponed, which I think we all agree is the right decision. What's that been like for you? And you obviously so focused on Tokyo 2020, now having that set back a year later. What have those conversations been like? How has that felt? I mean, I'm assuming it's disappointing, but how do you realign priorities and look ahead to the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult when I think a lot of the athletes are really used to having a plan and really like to plan ahead. And, you have your whole season laid out for you, and I had that with my team and training. And, yeah, you anticipate the Olympics will happen in a certain year and things like that. And then, of course, everything is off the calendar so far. So, yeah, I think it's come back to just focusing on those controllable things for me. So, yeah, it's coming up with a new plan that has the race calendar pushed way back. But, I can still look for, I guess I've started to set goals that are less racing focused and more still like, how can I become a better cyclist so that when the races happen, then I can be better than I was before. So that's trying to be more focused on like the near future rather than planning too far ahead.
So I think a lot of folks would be really interested in the type of training you do, what it takes to be World Tour and excelling at the World Tour. You can TT, you got national titles, you win road races, you win prologues, you got a hell of a sprint. Does your training reflect your strengths, or does it reflect your weaknesses, or what kind of cyclist do you see yourself as? You can really kind of do all of it.
Yeah, it's hard to describe myself as a cyclist a bit because I think you said it right. Like I am really an all-rounder. I can do a little bit of everything. But I think also my skills have definitely developed over time. So when I was first starting out, I was definitely way more of a sprinter, and then I would train, and my training has developed over time too. So when I really wanted to make time trialing more of a focus and build that up, then I trained that weakness a lot, and then found that eventually became a strength for me.
For sure.
So definitely, like if you do have a weakness, then training that weakness will.
Was that also a reflection of like shifting from a North American calendar to kind of more stage racing and obviously climbing and things that you do over in Europe? Did you see your riding evolve once you made the jump over there versus criteriums and things like that here in North America?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think there's actually more time trialing in North America than in Europe, which is really interesting. So I'd already made that a priority, I guess, while still racing there. But the races are, I guess, World Tour races are longer, and we do have some longer stage races. So like the Giro is 10 days, and that's by far the longest race in the calendar. So I think, yeah, for hours and intensity, then my training's more, um, the volume and everything is a little bit more to prepare specifically for like the World Tour European race.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about what kind of things you do when you're not riding the bike, you know, rest and recovery, but a lot of books you're reading or shows you're watching, or, I mean, it's hard to, we're not really hanging out with friends right now or doing that online. What's the day-to-day like in the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's funny because I guess when I'm not racing, I spend a lot of time at home already.
Right.
So I'm also an introvert, so I enjoy my time at home. But yeah, I've been finding some things to do. Yeah, I really like cooking and baking, so I do that a lot.
I see that on the Instagram.
Yeah, share my ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also really I enjoy reading a lot and listening to podcasts.
Awesome. And then lastly, I wanted to touch on, you know, in a time where there's so much uncertainty, especially like globally, but also in the cycling world, we don't know what the future looks like with the calendar and the state of many professional teams, and yet you re-signed a big contract extension to 2022, which is amazing. So obviously, Sunweb sees your talent and sees a lot of upside there. What's it like being on a World Tour team like Sunweb, one of the most professional organizations? You know, the vibe with the teammates, the staff. You obviously like it. You want to stay there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really great with the team, and yeah, I'm really happy to stay for another couple of years with them. Definitely a really super professional team with how they operate and everything, all the services that are available to us as athletes. Yeah, I guess so. It's one of the only teams that has, at least for women, that everything is within the team. So we also work with coaches and yeah, the dietitians and equipment experts and things like that. So it's very professional in that way. And I also really appreciate that they really do live the motto is keep challenging. So they're always trying to be better and to make the sport better and to help the athletes be better and all these things. And yeah, I like that they do really ask the athletes for ideas and feedback and trying to be innovative all the time. So I enjoy being part of that environment.
Amazing. Well, I won't take any more of your time, Leah, but we're so grateful for you joining us. I know people were really excited about you coming on, and everyone back here in Canada is super proud of you. We look up to you. You're inspiring, and keep doing what you do. And we'll see you when you get back on this side of the pond.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and yeah, great job, everyone. Seriously, I'm so impressed with you. You're doing amazing things, so keep it up. And I can't wait to see everyone back in Ontario.
Okay. Okay, take care, Leah. Be well.
Bye.
Leah Kirchmann, multinational champion, road TT disciplines, winning stage races in Europe, winning classics, former Olympian, current Olympian, all around fantastic Canadian. It's great to hear from her. So I'm gonna go around the horn here and just say hi to some folks. Check in with everybody, see how they're doing. Why don't we say hi to Steve and Dante? You guys able to say hi? We'll pull you off mute.
Hey Brad, how are you, man?
Doing well. We're hanging in. We're on the home stretch.
So we did an hour with you yesterday. So we're trying to squeeze an hour and a half out of Dante, and I'm going to be in and out with you today a little bit to support you.
Amazing.
So
Well,
that's our plan today.
well, we are very grateful. And Dante, how are the legs feeling? How are the sensations, as they say? Yeah, you're just out of the saddle jamming it. You just can't hold back. That's good, man.
Yeah, he's just a small little machine, this guy, right?
I love it. I love it. Did you like hearing from Leah Kirchmann? That was pretty cool, eh? What a rock star. Unbelievable. Well, I'm really glad that you guys are back with us, and thanks for joining us yesterday, and it's really nice to have you here as we come in on the home stretch.
Awesome. Thanks for putting this on. This is great.
You
We're
bet.
very appreciative of what you're doing, and we're very happy to be able to support this.
Our frontline medical workers are the best, and we're all very grateful for what they do. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Why don't we check in with Katie? Katie, can you hear me? We're gonna pull you off mute. Just give me a second. Second row, right side. Awesome. How you doing, Katie?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. Good. How are the legs feeling?
Pretty good, honestly. I'm in a nice club with Hannah Sims right now.
Yeah,
Go on.
that's awesome. We were all checking out the skyline view that you've got there. That's a pretty epic setup for the trainer.
Well, it's a pretty sweet view. You can't see it too well right now, but it's I'm pretty lucky.
You can't beat it. How's riding been going? You know, in the early spring. I know we're